Emergency responders practice together to help protect Shawnee Mission students. First graders get a chance to be design engineers by reimagining items in their classroom. The new group of experts working together makes a noticeable difference in Shawnee Mission's sustainability efforts. And weeks of design and planning are over. Now it's time for district robotics teams to put their creations to the test. It's all ahead on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. Highlands Elementary is a great place for learning, and usually the students are children. But one week when school was not in session, the empty building provided an ideal spot for a new set of students, Northeast Johnson County law enforcement officers and emergency responders. The guns are fake, but the situations these officers are role-playing are important in case the threat is ever real.
As you come around that corner, would it not be to your advantage to keep that cover as long as possible?
Law enforcement from Fairway, Leawood, Merriam, Mission, Roland Park, Westwood, and Prairie Village joined in this active shooter scenario training. It was a chance to go beyond simply making plans to actually putting a plan into action.
We got another guy at the end of the hall, so we got two down right here.
To make the training as realistic as possible, people are brought in to role play the victims and the bad guys.
Help!
Evan Westhoff has helped for several years. He also happens to be a Highlands alumnus.
Before a scenario starts, we're kind of told basic roles of what we're going to do, like if we're going to run, if we're injured, if we're screaming. And so we're going to give in like some heads up for what to do, and then when the scenario's hot, we just run it.
In one scenario, he got to team up with his buddy, a fellow Highlands alumnus, Lucas Fleming.
We were two shooters. We were to come around a hallway and engage the entry team, try to split them up a little bit and catch them off guard. But they handled it pretty well both times. We really weren't able to get much headway in, and they did a very good job.
Close door left.
Both think the realistic training is a good idea.
Well, the role players here were important because otherwise these officers would be training with just mannequins, really. So it kind of adds to that realism of having younger kids and students in the schools like this, helping them train for, a very credible threat of a school shooting.
It's really helpful for everyone involved, for the police to have training in what they would do in a scenario. And since there are blanks going off, you have loud noises, they're screaming, so it kind of gets you amped up. And so they can help control their emotions.
Organizers decided to make this regional training even more valuable by adding another crucial element: medical teams from Consolidated Fire District Number 2 and the Leawood Fire Department.
I went in with my truck crew. We had police officers in front of us and behind us for protection, and we went in to find and hopefully save, rescue victims.
The police officers have the body armor, they have the guns, they go in and deal with the man with the gun, and then fire waits for the all clear. Now we're asking them to trust us that we're going to escort them in and take care of them and get them out safely.
In the past, law enforcement pretty much tried to handle the problem and contain it, wrap it all up, and then when we were 100% sure that nobody could get hurt anymore, that's when we brought fire in. But what we found is that there's a bunch of people that are still in that area that need help and that need to be saved. And the faster that we can bring a rescue response, a fire and EMS element in there to start saving lives, the better.
We are just really starting to marry up with the fire guys and learning each other's routines and verbiage and movements and tactics. And anytime we can do that, it's a win. It's obviously way more chaotic if we ever have a situation like this, but if we train and learn how they act and react, we hopefully will be able to work together in the future.
All right, we're clear. We got two front doors ahead of us, guys.
While the hope is that these officers and medical personnel will never need to put this training to the test in Shawnee Mission, organizers say practicing for these events and connecting with school district police officers in the scenarios is critical.
The school police know this facility better than any of the law enforcement agencies because they're here and they work in it. This is their world. They know the students, they know the teachers. They know the ins and outs of the buildings. Plus with new systems that are being implemented, you're bringing technology into play now and integrating it with all of the local law enforcement.
The Mid-America Regional Council uses some of the plans developed during the annual Northeast Johnson County training to help others in the area with their emergency response plans. Up next, getting students excited about fruits and vegetables through the use of aeroponics at school.
Hi, I'm Tate, and I read this fantastic book called Ginger Snap by Patricia Riley Giff. This story takes place in 1944 during World War II. Jana is orphaned when her parents die in a car accident. Jana's brother, Rob, then becomes her legal guardian. Rob is a chef for the Navy and then goes missing in action. Jana finds a cookbook with a picture of the bakery on the front, but to Jana's surprise, the name of the bakery is Ginger Snap, Jana's nickname. And with a creepy voice guiding her, Jana decides to go from upstate New York to Boston, Massachusetts to find this bakery. While in Boston, Jana meets two siblings. Who is this ghost? Is Rob alive? Will Jana ever find family? Read the book to find out. I rate this book 5 out of 5 stars because it's funny, scary, and sad all at the same time. I think you'll really like it.
Welcome back. What does sustainability look like in Shawnee Mission? It's a complex question that has a new group of experts working together to find answers. Around this table are engineers, architects, district staff, and environmental experts.
What we want to do is pick the brains of some really smart people and try to chart a course so that we can be better.
These volunteers are working together on a major assignment.
This meeting was a kickoff to start the discussion around goals for Shawnee Mission School District to assess their school sites and how to best approach stormwater management coupled with landscape design so that we can best streamline a cohesive process across the district and achieve common goals.
As the district's coordinator of sustainability and community engagement, Joan Levins helps guide this new advisory team as well as other green efforts in the schools.
Dr. Henson laid out a vision for the district that we would manage our resources responsibly, that we would be good stewards of our land where our buildings are situated, of recycling, manage recycling and composting in our buildings, and integrate all of that into our curriculum so that our students know from an early age ways in which they can make a difference.
I'm Katie Turk and I'm a junior at South.
Included in this landscape planning advisory team, 2 Shawnee Mission engineering students and their instructor.
My students in civil engineering and architecture have been chosen to participate in a sustainability study, particularly interested in incorporating the sustainability concepts from my curriculum into a real-life project for them.
Even in this inaugural meeting, the students say they learned a lot.
It was very interesting. It's a lot different from what we're doing, all the real-world applications and all the brainstorming and stuff that actually goes into massive projects like this is very interesting.
There were some things that I didn't understand because, I mean, I'm only in my first level of this class, but it was interesting to see what we've learned about ponds and water and all that stuff. We kind of just learned about that a month ago, so it's kind of cool to hear them actually talk about it and planning to do that in a project.
Oh, this is a fantastic opportunity for the students. These are subjects that we've already studied and covered, and so now they're going to be able to possibly use their own skills, thoughts, creativity, and bring it to this design. And so I'm looking very forward to seeing their ideas come to fruition.
We had a great meeting today. We had some great community experts working with us today who shared their thoughts on how we might go forward to create living learning spaces for our students, to work with our community members. And it would be a great opportunity to provide our students with skills they need for future careers and future opportunities to just learn more about where they live and how they fit into our community and in our world.
For many of the students, it begins with recycling and composting in the school cafeterias. Levin says student and staff-led efforts started many of the individual school recycling and compost programs.
In several of our schools, it was a project-based learning opportunity. The teachers and the students decided on their own to start this initiative. They did the research, they found the county partners, they identified the bins, they made their own posters, and then they went around and educated the students in their building about how to do this. It's been great to see how the students have embraced all of this, from kindergartners through high school students. The students take ownership of it.
Students at Mill Creek Elementary have an example of sustainability in action. They have a garden growing right in their cafeteria.
And we want to make sure that our water is balanced and it has a good pH, because if it's orange, it's not going to be healthy for the plants.
It's harvest time for Mill Creek Elementary students.
There's green lettuce and arugula and peppers. You cut a little bit, like a leaf off, and then put it in a bowl, and then the lunch lady cuts it up and we can have it for lunch.
Miss Peterson, we have some lettuce for you.
But these greens don't come from a traditional garden. Instead, as you can see, they grow inside, in the school's cafeteria.
It's called a tower garden, and you don't use soil to plant your plants, and it's a much faster way because you don't have to go outside and plant dirt.
Tower garden is an aeroponic gardening system where it self-waters. There is no soil involved, and the roots hang from the air. The water is down at the base. It filtrates up through the top of the tower and then sprinkles down on the root system, watering it so that we can constantly recycle water.
Lord used a grant to purchase the tower garden in hopes of getting students more interested in trying fruits and vegetables.
I have noticed how excited the kids have been watching the plants grow, because it's right here in our cafeteria and they get to see it grow at a fast pace, and then they're more willing to try. And when seeing them smile with lettuce in their mouth is just, it's great to see.
I like it because they're good to eat and they're healthy for you.
Where do you think the pH is? Right here? Okay, so is it in this range?
In first grade, it fit into our science standards. We learn about the life cycle of a plant. So through studying the tower garden, we were able to take learning about the life cycle of a plant to a whole new level. I was able to enrich and enhance their learning about the life cycle of a plant by tying it into the science of aeroponics. And they would write about the different stages of the tower garden. They would draw pictures as to what was going on with the plants. They would write sentences. In addition to this, they would make predictions as to what they thought would be going on with the tower garden the next time that we came in.
I've enjoyed the interactions that I've gotten to have with the kids, and I've enjoyed the excitement and the collaboration, not only with the teachers and the students, but with the cafeteria as well. It's been this school-wide approach and collaboration to learning and promoting healthy initiatives and STEM education.
One teacher is taking her students' learning to a higher level with the help of an ideas box. We'll show you what that's all about. Plus, prompting high school students to think about what comes next. It's still ahead when Spotlight on Shawnee Mission returns. Welcome back. What comes after high school? For many students, this question can be a challenge, but now some high school students are armed with a lot more information to help them decide.
So this here would come off with the face mask, click on, that's what's supplying your air.
Maybe it's a future in firefighting. Maybe it's more education. These students had a chance to check it all out at the Horizons High School's Career, College, and Job Fair.
We have 28 different organizations, vendors here, a variety of different trades for the kids to visit and kind of get an idea, a feel for what is out there for their future.
They're giving us so much great information. They're helping us out a lot. I think it's a great way to help all the students figure out what they want to do. It's a great opportunity.
This whole thing is actually helpful because, first of all, I probably wouldn't have known where to start. And then with people actually getting actual feedback, it'd be a lot better.
After some research, Alexander says the welding or automotive programs at Johnson County Community College just might be the place for him.
They give me advice like how to start out. If you have no experience, it's no problem because they'll help you out.
Starting them early and getting them the information they need to know now helps them be prepared, and it definitely gets their brains thinking about things they really could see themselves doing in the future.
In addition to questions about admission requirements and financial aid, Elmore says students want to know what community college is like.
I think they're curious about our size, like how many students will be in the classroom with them. They're curious about ways they can get involved, jobs on campus, just kind of more of the fun things students do on our campus.
Horizons teachers say the career fair gives their students the chance to ask plenty of questions.
I hope they're finding out what requirements they need to fulfill to apply to community colleges. I hope that they're finding out more information about what certain careers entail, such as welding or early childhood education. I hope they're finding out that if they want to go to cosmetology school, they just don't have one option.
Kansas City Royals representative Kurt Nelson is here telling students about all of the team's job opportunities.
You think about the players on the field, and they're, of course, the key component of what we do, because that's what people come out to see. But there's so many other career opportunities and ways that you can be involved, that people can be involved, that don't have to do with things on the field.
I think this program is important because it encourages us to look beyond just high school and want more in life. They've given me advice to actually go to school and not just working like a simple job fast food restaurant, to do more.
It's a great door to the future for them. Just kind of give them an inkling of what they could do.
It feels good, I guess, because sometimes I feel like I'm by myself. So when I get this, when this happens, it really works out. It really works out for me.
I think this is important for our students because it makes them think about what happens after graduation. For a lot of them, all they think about is getting to that graduation day, and I want them to think past that day and have a plan for what will happen in August after they've graduated.
The Career, College, and Job Fair was open to all of Horizons students. Some first graders are learning design and building skills as they strive to improve ordinary items found in their classroom.
So design engineers, the world really needs them, and it's a really fun and important job. And we have a good time, and we get to build stuff that really makes a difference in the community and helps people.
These students at Trailwood Elementary are part of Dyson's Ideas Box project.
The kids first start out by learning what a design engineer is, and we talk about, they draw a picture of what they think it is, and they usually have hard hats and hammers and things like that.
Through the program, students not only learn what design engineers do, they get to become them.
What they're doing is they're taking ordinary concepts such as the chair or the desk, and they're reverse engineering these into even make them more useful and more practical for actual real life use. It's really cool. It's actually a concept we learn as engineers. We take one of the first things we do in college is we actually take an object and try to redesign it to make it even better. And this is where some of the greatest concepts come from. It's just common household items, and we can take household items and make them even better.
Lydia was part of the group working on a better design for their teacher's stool.
So we're making a stool where it has storage in it, and then the stool used to be just gray and brown, so we decided to make it colorful and have a cushion on it so then it will be soft when you sit on it.
We're making a chair. We got most all of it done, and well, not everything did good, but sometimes you have to redo it, and only one time you had to redo it.
And so it's just a really exciting opportunity for the kids to really get to learn. I mean, I don't think when we were growing up it was ever something we really were taught was how to be a design engineer. So it's just a really exciting thing just to see these first graders and just all the information that they're learning. So it's really cool to be a part of this.
Dagny's group chose to build a better, more organized workspace.
We were working on a desk designer. We tried to make it so it doesn't get too messy, and so it worked out good because we glued it and we tested it out a lot.
A third group chose to design paper that wouldn't give paper cuts. Teacher Tracy Warren says the projects have taken her students' thinking to another level.
To be quite honest, they've blown me away with what they've come up with. The day that we brainstormed items around the classroom, I just couldn't believe some of the things they came up with, and they were very real and very, very practical.
Her students have their own ideas about what makes this project something special.
I get to express my creativity and build something that's kind of like, woo, yeah, it's so awesome.
You get to create and no one tells you what to do, and you're just going to have fun, and you're going to create new stuff.
I think they really liked it. There was a lot of enthusiasm and excitement and a lot of creative ideas, and I bet that they'll beg Mrs. Warren to let them do other projects throughout the rest of the year.
I really want to be an engineer. It's really fun, but you do get really frustrated, but it doesn't matter. It's the part of the job. You're supposed to get frustrated. That's the part. And if you don't get frustrated and you always get it right, then it's fine. It's just the same.
The James Dyson Foundation developed the Ideas Box to help teachers nurture the creativity and skills needed for the next generation of engineers. Up next, Shawnee Mission Robotics engineers put their ideas to the test in regional competition.
Hello, my name is Dylan. And I'm Brady. We read the book Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library by Chris Gravenstein. This was a very exciting book, and if you have a good imagination, this book is for you. It all starts when Dr. Zinchenko, a very famous librarian, builds a new library that breaks the laws of physics and will blow your mind. A boy named Kyle Keeley and his friends really want to see it. But you have to write an essay to get in. And even if they do get in, the challenges they face inside will be even harder. So what is inside that library? Books? Games? Puzzles? Holograms? Moving robots? I don't know. I guess you'll have to read the book to find out. We rate this book 5 stars. Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library is an exhilarating adventure. Read this book.
Welcome back. Robotics teams representing all 5 high schools in Shawnee Mission had a chance to put 6 weeks of hard work to the test at the first robotics regional competition. 6 weeks of brainstorming, building, and testing all comes down to this. It's head-to-head competition time for high school teams in the first robotics regional competition.
So this year our robot has to disarm a whole bunch of various traps and defenses to launch kind of kickball type things into the castle. And then there's a low goal and a high goal, and you can score in both of those or disable various traps to make it easier for other robots.
It's been pretty stressful over the last few weeks because We've been time crunching hours in to get our robot done. I think it's our best robot that we've ever had over the last 4 years I've been in robotics.
This is the only competition during the season we do besides a small off-season one in the fall. So it's pretty intense. The atmosphere is great. A lot of teams here, a lot of schools.
Today is a day of competing, a day of minds that come up with all kinds of ideas to a problem that they've been faced with. It's amazing when you look from every single team how different every single robot is, that we can come up with such a wide variety with 60 different teams, 60 different, totally different functional robots, and what they choose to feature as their strong point.
We need a wrench, loosen it just a little bit.
To get to this point, teams have already put in a lot of work.
The design process really starts with looking at the game manual, which is about 150 pages. So you have to understand the game before you can even start to brainstorm, and you come up with different ideas. The team ends up voting on what things they want to do, how much they want to do, based upon how likely they are to actually accomplish it.
Next comes actually building and programming the robot. Students say they appreciate the chance to gain new skills.
Programming, learning C++ to program the robot, which is, there's not any classes at Shawnee Mission that teach it like that. So learning to program C++ to program an entire robot to do different tasks is amazing.
This is an amazing opportunity. It's unlike anything else. I think I may have learned more things doing this after-school activity than I have in some of my classes.
I think it's great. I'm an engineer myself, and I've been here 10 years since 2007. And every year we get students who have really had no real interest in science, technology, engineering, math, and they join the team and they get really passionate about it.
They're excited. I see a lot more students energized to go to college, a lot more with the STEM, and I'm seeing a lot more women in it, which is still a minority, both in college and in the workplace, and I think it's a great way to get a lot more of them involved.
It's really fun. We get to do a lot of stuff that I never have done anywhere else before.
Being a female robotics engineer isn't the only thing that sets Rachel apart. She's also a middle school student on Shawnee Mission West's team.
My dad's a mentor, and my brother used to be on the team, and I just thought it was really cool, so I started coming to the build days.
Now she's hooked, which seems to be a common theme among these student competitors.
I think it's a lot of fun, and I would definitely recommend it if you're interested in engineering or science or robotics. This is kind of the future.
I learned a lot. I mean, I wouldn't know nearly as much about the mechanical, electrical, even pneumatics, a little bit of programming. There's a whole marketing side to it. I mean, it really helps you develop all the skills you need for your future.
It's just real world problem solving, and it's going to help me out of school and actually in the workforce.
First, the sponsor of the competition is a multinational nonprofit group that works to engage students in learning about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.